all-knowing and all-powerful, starting with the elderly wolf uncle. Chapter 1. American manga, all-knowing and all-powerful, starting with the elderly wolf uncle. Author, Steel Little Lady Canon. Chen Tian travels to the timeline of Wolverine 3 and becomes the last mutant of the old era. At this time, the X-Men have long been disbanded, the mutants are no longer brilliant, Uncle Wolf is also entering his twilight years, and the entire race is in danger. Fortunately, he found that he could watch the battle and drop the target's ability. Ding. Battle detected. Drop reward. Super self-healing factor. Wolverine. Ding. Combat detected. Drop reward. Stealth. Transparent man. Ding. Combat detected. Drop reward. Heat sight. Superman. So Chen Tian, who watched the battle, could drop the target's ability, while helping the elderly wolf uncle to avoid the tragedy of being killed or injured in serious injuries. Chen Tian also began to watch the battles of different people in multiple American worlds, and became an all-knowing and all-powerful existence step by step. Chapter 01. Logan. Howlett, Tiger Fell. Pingyang was bullied by dogs. Santa Fe, New Mexico. This ancient city on the border of the country, with a history of 400 years, is known as the ruler's palace, but due to the remoteness of the city, many criminals hide in the city to escape wanted. Coupled with the border with smugglers from neighboring countries, the order of the city is extremely chaotic, the crime rate is high, robbery, shooting, smuggling. It's happening almost all the time. At this time, the sky gradually darkened, and night covered the desert land. At a gas station far from the city, the roll-up door of the convenience store is concealed, and the faint light shines through the crack in the door. And several figures are faintly visible walking by. Chen, it's time to close. There's a lot of Mexicans at this time, and those damn guys are hungry, and they're going to do anything. A middle-aged man with a face full of scum, who spoke with yellow teeth showing his yellow teeth, carried a box of goods towards the warehouse. And did not forget to turn around and shout at the yellow-skinned boy at the front desk. Right away, Chen Tian turned his head and answered, but he was in no hurry to close the door. At this time, a black Chrysler outside drove to the door, the tightly concealed roll door was opened, and a figure staggered in. The man's eyes were cloudy, and his face full of scumbags looked decadent. He walked in and went straight to the front desk, exhausted, and said, "Hey, boy, a few bottles of whiskey." Howlett, were closed. The middle-aged man poked his head out of the warehouse when he heard the sound, saw that there were guests again, and said with a slightly dissatisfied expression, You should be glad the door is not locked, otherwise I will tear it apart." Logan. Howlett gave him a blank look, ignored the scolding shopkeeper, looked down and pulled out his wallet, drew a $20 knife with a painful heart, and handed it to the yellow-skinned boy in front of him. "How little, don't you have to leave the car later?" Chen Tian had ridicule in his eyes, and looked at the man with a vicissitudes of face and smiled. "Ah, little furry boy, don't ask more, I'll pay you for wine." Logan. Howlett looked at him, and couldn't help but be slightly stunned. His innate strong senses made him feel that this front desk teenager who had known him for half a month seemed to know himself. "Every time I come here, the feeling in my heart becomes stronger." But every time after a while, Logan Howlett dismissed similar thoughts, and a little self-deprecating, how could a teenager know his old superhero? Even the middle-aged shopkeeper didn't come out, let alone him. Superheroes. No, or rather mutants, it seems that it has long been a thing of the past and history. Now, 2029. There have been no new mutants born in this world for about many years, and the entire race is disappearing. Okay, wait a minute. A strange look flashed under Chen Tian's eyes, and he turned to face the wine cabinet to find whiskey. In fact, Logan Howlett guessed right, he had been recognized by the teenager in front of him. Because Chen Tian is a traverser. 18 years ago, he traveled to this Marvel universe and became the last mutants born of normal fertility in the old era. But unfortunately, the mutants of the Marvel universe are going through catastrophic times. The X-Men and Xavier Genius Academy have long been disbanded, and the mutants are gradually dying out. Chen Tian, who came through the passage, relied on his knowledge of Marvel. Simply judging that it is very likely that it is currently in the timeline of Wolverine in the Twilight years, he was not very sure at first, until he came to Santa Fe half a month ago, and recognized the decadent and alcoholic Uncle Wolf at a glance. Other words, as a mutant, he was a target that could be hunted at any time, and fortunately he survived so many years. And, by chance, he became the front desk cashier of this convenience store that is often frequented by Uncle Wolf. Also got acquainted with Uncle Wolf. As for Chen Tian's contact with the elderly wolf uncle, he wanted to obtain the self-healing factor in his body. A few months ago, he accidentally discovered that in addition to his innate mutant ability, he also accidentally gained the ability to watch others fight and absorb a certain specialty of the target. For example, a person's combat skills, and a self-healing factor similar to Uncle Wolf. All are possible to obtain. This may be his only chance to turn over. After all, no one wants to live in fear all day. However, Chen Tian and Uncle Wolf have been out of the car several times, and they have never seen each other make a move, as long as the person who provokes him does not behave too much. Uncle Wolf can swallow his anger and will not even make any response. Sometimes, it's really sad that the bloodiest and brutal superheroes of the past have now ended up in such an embarrassing end. Goodbye, Logan. Howlett took the wine, sensing the pity in the boy's eyes, and didn't care too much about pouring a sip of wine in front of him, turning and walking towards the outside of the convenience store. After a while, he drove Chrysler outside the convenience store, and the fire was extinguished in the open space not far away, as if he was going to sleep after drinking. Old drunkard. The shopkeeper wiped his sweat after moving the goods, and couldn't help but complain about Uncle Wolf. Boy, don't learn from him in the future, it's not good. Even the Uber driver can't do it well. Quote, when he was drunk, he said he fantasized about buying a ship day by day. Daydreaming. Chen Tian shook his head in his heart without responding, and the shopkeeper behind him saw that he was silent, knowing that he had a good relationship with Howlett, and casually explained a few words before turning and leaving. It's really a tiger falling Pingyang being bullied by dogs. Chen Tian muttered, looked at Chrysler who was extinguished outside, and shook his head. Then close the roll-up door and go into the room to wash. This lot is not safe. There must be someone to guard the shop at night, and today it is Chen Tian's turn, so he will sleep in the store tonight, so as not to be pried by some hungry old mo. After taking a shower, Chen Tian lay on the bed thinking about how to deal with it in the future. After all, this world is not like the 1999 universe, his identity is special, and he is always in danger. And this universe is a little different, to be precise, the universe is a bit chaotic. In this timeline, the X-Men are disbanded, corresponding to Uncle Wolf in the Twilight years. But he often sees information about Stark Industries in newspaper news, which means that two cosmic events that should have been impossible are going on in this timeline. It's just that apparently the X-Men Wolf Uncle is walking faster, and the entire mutant race is almost extinct. And the events of the 1999 universe have just begun, and Tony Stark is still a playboy. Thinking, Chen Tian faintly heard noise and cursing outside the window, and even the sound of metal colliding. Damn, is it that group of old Mo who came to the door? Lao Mo refers to the smuggled guys from neighboring countries in the United States, who often wander the road of crime without law. Thereupon, Chen Tian hurriedly got up and opened the window to look outside, and suddenly he was slightly stunned, and the slight anger under his eyes gradually turned into anticipation and excitement. Because a few old inks that came into view in the distance, squatting in Logan. Howlett seems to be planning to remove Uncle Wolf's tires, which is not the familiar plot in Wolverine 3. Isn't it waiting for the enraged Uncle Wolf to make a move? Chen Tian's eyes lit up when he realized this. As long as there was a battle, his ability would be triggered. If you are lucky, Uncle Wolf's super self-healing factor will not be in hand. Then there will be a means of survival. Chapter 02, Battle detected, drop reward, super self-healing factor. Outside the gas station convenience store, not far from the open space around Chrysler, a few old ink walked down from a van, looking at the valuable car. And his expression was obviously a little excited. Few people drive Chrysler here. After all, rich people basically do not come to such places at night to turn off the fire and rest.